So I remember my first real job. I remember a really important financial lesson that I learned shortly after I started this job. So I had been working about 9 or 10 months and then had whatever annual review with my boss, and I was called into her office. She ends up telling me, Bob, you've done a pretty good job. We're gonna give you a 6% raise. And I was just like thrilled. This was gonna be amazing. It was probably gonna be like an extra couple $100 every single month.
I think we've all had this experience.
So we've all had this experience, and maybe you have done the dumb thing that I did, or maybe you haven't. So after all this, and I realized I'm gonna have all this money, and my raise was gonna kick in like 2 or 3 pay periods, so probably like a month and a half or so. So I went out and celebrated, went out with my friends, spent a whole bunch of money, and I think I got a new wardrobe, because I was basically like an executive now. Not at all. Still like
entry level.
One notch above entry level for sure. So I bought a whole bunch of clothes because I wanted to look better. I don't really know. I think I even upgraded my car. I just had all this stuff going on. Because I wasn't budgeting, I really had no idea. I wasn't tracking my money. I just figured,
there's
this
more
is a
money.
6% raise.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna have a ton
You're
of
gonna be
money.
rich.
And I'm just gonna go spend all this. So I'm celebrating for days, maybe even weeks about this raise, telling everybody, so tickled, spending money like it's going out of style. Fast forward about a month and a half or so, and I get my new paycheck and I go look at it, and then I kind of go through my bills for the next couple weeks, and like, man, it's really tight. And this is kind of weird. And maybe they didn't actually put my raise on that paycheck. Then another pay period goes by, and I realize that, yeah, they actually did increase the amount, but I actually feel worse than I did before I got that raise. You know, and upon running the numbers, I actually realized I have overspent the raise that I got. And I actually did it even before I got the raise.
I've definitely done that before.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us have, but this is the power of a budget. I don't know if you ever heard of Parkinson's law, but it says that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion.
Right, so it's kind of like when your boss tells you can go home as soon as your job's done.
Yeah, so like
that
on a
day.
Friday before the weekend or something.
Yeah,
and he's
and
like,
you're
yeah,
like,
as soon as you get your
"Oh,
work done.
I want to get this done in 15 minutes.
Yeah, my old job, we had that happen all the time. We worked an 8-hour day normally, but
Right.
on those Fridays, we were done by noon or 12:30. And like, how is that possible? And that's the gist of Parkinson's law. And this law applies to our money just the same.
Yeah.
Without deliberate action on our part, our expenses are going to rise to meet our income. In order to keep that from happening, we have to do something deliberate. And the best way to do this is to set a budget.
I mean, I remember right after we got married, I think one of or both of us got a raise, and I was like, all right, where are we going to spend this money?
You were going to do what I
and
was.
Bob was like, no, we are not spending that money. I mean, he was so intense about it. But it was because
I still
you
had fresh
learned
wounds, yeah.
really like the hard way, like this
Yeah.
is not as much money as you think it is.
Yeah, you always overestimate how much it is, and and that's why this law is there. That's why someone really smart wrote this down and probably was awarded many awards because of it. So the key with the budget is that it allows you to stay consistent with your expenses. Rather than having them automatically rise up or over to whatever your income is at that point, you can kind of lock in on that and then incrementally increase those expenses with
as the money becomes available.
As it's there
As it's in
and
the bank.
in proportion and not going over and above.
Right.
In our case, having a budget has just saved our butts so many times with this. Once I learned that lesson, I tried not to learn it again. And we run our own business, and we're online entrepreneurs, and it's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah, I mean one month it could be super high, the next month it could be super low,
Yeah,
and
it's
in the
up
middle of
and
the next
down.
month, like you just never really know what's going
It's
to happen.
all over the place. We've been doing this for full-time, about 11, 12 years or so. Basically being full-time bloggers and YouTubers and whatever, all this stuff, any kind of digital media, this is our business. And so we've seen some really high highs and some really low lows and everything in between. And the truth is that had we not had a budget to help us kind of lock in our expenses, we would have been devastated financially. Like if we would have behaved like I did in that first job, like we would have been such a mess.
Because the way most people do things is they just spend money based on what they think their future is going to look like.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, I think I'm going to make
making
this much, so I'm
now.
going to spend a ton of money on a new car or house or all of the, new clothes, new wardrobe, like you said, or all of them. And then reality sets in and you're like, this isn't as great as I thought. And then you have to like pull yourself back so much, and you're also left with debt and just money you don't really have and can't really spend. And
you
I
can
think it
lose
can be really scary. Yeah. Also, just to be clear, like we're not saying that there's any anything wrong with having something nicer. I think what we're saying
it's not
is
about that at all. Actually having enough to buy
your car, buy your super nice new car with cash.
Yeah.
You know, don't just think you're gonna have the money and then spend it all before you actually even have it and know what's really coming in.
Because the thing I think so many of us forget is that things change and they are never the same way that they are now. And this isn't like a doom and gloom thing. It's just that it's very rare that you see any career, any business just go up like forever. Like, it just doesn't work like that. It's like most of the times the things are like this, and hopefully they continue to go up. But even still, they don't always. And so having some margin in your budget and not allowing your expenses to go all the way up to your income, it's going to give you more freedom, more flexibility. It's going to help you not get into as much debt. It's going to help you be able to give more. It's going to help you be able to save more and just overall have more financial peace. And if you're not budgeting, just be on guard, because this could sneak up and bite you. You know, having a budget is something that can definitely help. Now, we are partial to our budgeting method, in which, you know, we have a course, so you can check out our kind of method for how we do this. Being the money nerd I am, I've tried a lot of budgeting methods, and
this one is a really
like ours a lot.
This is a really good one.
It really doesn't matter. Whatever you do, whatever budget you can find that actually works, that's what you need to be doing. It's such an important component of living a financially peaceful life. It is not at all the shackles that we're often led to believe. It's really kind of liberating in the opposite.
Yeah, I would agree, because I thought getting on a budget was going to make me feel suffocated. I'm kind of more of a little bit like, let's just, go where the wind blows. And I feel the exact opposite. I feel like it allows me to go where the wind blows.
Yeah.
Having the organization is really, I feel like it allows so much more freedom.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so just so I don't feel like I'm alone in spending way beyond my raise, let me know down in the comments if you have ever done that before.
Yes. Are you currently doing it?
Or are you currently doing it? Did you just get a raise and you're currently doing it? Yeah, so let us know down in the comments, and hit the like button if you enjoyed this to let us know, and hit the subscribe button if you want to hear from more.
Hit the subscribe button if you want to hear more from us. It'll be great.
All right, that's all for now. Be blessed, be blessing. We'll see you later.
Bye.